I'm delighted to provide you with my assessment, not measurement, but my assessment of the state of Sno-Isle Libraries. But first of all, I would really like to acknowledge that this is the first year that President Sue Cohen has presented to this group, and I just really appreciate her willingness to give a Saturday, and she succeeded Rico Tessendor as the president of the board. She brings with us a love for libraries, an educational background, and what I think of as the most important quality, and a sly sense of humor. And that means that Sue gets my jokes. She serves as the educational consultant for student and school success for the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction. And her husband, Gary, is the superintendent of the Everett School District. So I think we've got some really talented skills in Sue being our board president. So thank you very much. So for those of you that are relatively new to this group, and especially those of you who are here with us for the first time, I'd like to provide just a little bit of background about Sno-Isle Libraries. So first of all, we're a two-county library system, Island County, Snohomish County. We've been working together since 1962. We provide brick and mortar library service in 21 communities, and I bet we probably have at least 19 communities represented today. We provide service as far away as Oak Harbor, to Briar, to Darrington, to Clinton, and we also have mobile services that go out to children and to folks in other areas. Our service area is approximately 2,600 miles. That's a lot. One time I mistakenly said 26,000 miles. So it's not 1,000 miles, but I still think 2,600 miles is that's a pretty good distance to take. We serve a population of over 630,000 people. Think about that, 630,000 people. And this is the big part, with 2/3 of those folks carrying a library card. So when you walk around and you go into Hagen's, hopefully it hasn't closed your Hagen's, you go into Hagen's, you go to the museum, you go into the library, and you see 3 people, or you're one of 3, there are 2 other people, at least one of them is your library buddy. And I think that's pretty remarkable, that over 2,200 square miles, 2/3 of the folks that live in that area have a library card. Sue was sharing a few minutes ago about how our libraries come about and the things that we're proud of. And I just wanted to give you a little heads up or some background information on how we're funded. So sometimes people think that libraries just miraculously appear, but they don't. And I think our Camino Island friends are probably our latest folks that can explain that they don't miraculously appear. We are funded by a property tax levy that is about 98% of our budget, and excuse me, and that will show up on your property tax statements under library, both in Snohomish and Island County. This levy is what provides us to operate a library, including staffing, library materials, technology, and not measuring tapes, but DVDs and other things. But that really doesn't supply the capital to build new libraries. And so that's what many folks in this room have been working on for a number of years, how to bring new libraries to their community or how to expand their libraries. This type of funding, this property tax funding, is a very solid and stable source of funding for us. We don't have incredible highs in terms of millions of dollars dropping in because there are a lot of car sales on Highway 99, but we also don't have incredibly lows. So it's pretty it's pretty stable. The last time that we went out and asked voters for an increase was in 2009. And I'm just wondering, how many of you in the room were here during that time? Quite a few, right? So then you'll probably remember this. At that time, we promised each of our communities that we would not ask for another levy election for at least 5 years. So, 2009, 2005, 6 years and counting, and we're not asking. We're here to celebrate. Our current forecast is that we may need not to go back and ask for a levy increase for at least another 3 to 4 years. So how can that be? I think there's a very simple and straight answer to that. And that answer is the Sno-Isle Board of Trustees. Our 7-member Board of Trustees has taken a careful and thoughtful approach as they have adopted a balanced budget each year. And I am pleased to share with you that the financial state of Sno-Isle Libraries is sound. We continue to take a very conservative approach on financial matters, resulting in careful allocation of resources to match community and customer needs, controlled growth, and a balanced budget. Each year, the library district's finances are audited by the Washington State Auditor's Office. And that review process includes reviewing asset management, cash receipting, contracts, financial statements, and adherence to the Public Open Meeting Act. And I am really proud to shout out that we have had 29 straight years of clean audits. It's hard to get better than that. I'm still working on my own checkbooks. So earlier this year, Kendra and her staff adjusted hours in each of our community libraries, and in many cases added additional hours, realigned morning, evening, and weekend hours to match the needs of all of our communities. And I've heard a lot of positive comments about opening our doors earlier in the morning and having them open until 6 o'clock at night on Friday and Saturday. So, folks from Monroe, anybody here from Monroe? Anyone here from Snohomish today? Yeah, almost, that's right. Sultan, we've got some Sultan people back there. Mount Lake Terrace. Yeah, with pride. Raise your hand with pride, yeah. And how about Darrington? It's a long ways to travel, Darrington. Cookville, I know you're here, right? And Freeland, any Freeland folks? Good, great, Missy. So these folks are important folks. And what they remember all together is what it is like to open a new library. And it feels really good, doesn't it? And just recently, the Camino Island folks joined that group. The opening of the new Camino Island Library 8 weeks ago on the first day of August brought together years of interest and an incredible effort within the Camino community for a permanent library. It may very well have been a labor of love. However, it took a lot of work, passion, commitment, and support from the Camino Island Friends, the local advisory board, and the grassroots citizens effort who persevered in bringing and keeping the library in their community. The opening of the library brought forth tears, smiles, and many hugs as library supporters and customers streamed in to their new library. And when I say streamed, I think that's really too gentle a way to describe it. Because I was standing with the ribbon cutters, and I made a tactical error. I was right in front of the doors. I am not kidding this. And actually, that's why we need this. Personal space. And the ribbon was cut. A scream went out. I don't know if it was Kendra or Becky, but the scream went out, and people started surging in the building. And I hadn't opened the door yet. The door, me, and all these people. So it was an incredible experience, and that library filled up so fast, and it was just great. So for those of us who have attended a previous board and friends forums, you know that we carefully align the library's work centered around our strategic focuses. And we do this by balancing our daily and short-term efforts in delivering world-class library service and resources with longer-range efforts to build literate, economically sound, and connected communities. One of our strategic projects under Connected Communities focuses on ways to better connect with individual communities. And a great, exciting project that's coming up is the TEDx Sno-Isle event that's happening on November 6th at the Edmonds Center for the Arts. This is, I think, a great example of us setting up to connect with new audiences and to increase the profile of Sno-Isle Libraries. Approximately 30 of the most intriguing speakers will be gathered to provide a series of short, thought-provoking TED Talks during that day-long event. So TED, does it stand for teddy bear? Does it stand for, I don't know what else. But it doesn't. It stands for technology, entertainment, and design. And it is a global phenomenon that many of us are either looking at directly or hearing about from our children or grandchildren. As I said, the event is scheduled for November 6th at the Edmonds Center for the Arts. All 700 seats have been spoken for at that location. I heard a little sigh over there. And we have opened up registration for those of you that are interested in gathering at 10 of our community libraries that will be broadcasting a live website. So if you need a spot near home, let us know. I would really like to thank the Sno-Isle Libraries Foundation for stepping forward as the founding sponsor and fiscal agent for this adventure. The seed money the foundation provided has inspired 19 other organizations to join us in underwriting the cost of the event. So Paul, I know you're here. What was the budget number that the foundation was hoping to raise from partners for this event?
$54,500.
$54,500. And Paul, how much has the foundation raised?
$80,000.
Yeah. $80,000. So where did this money come from? It came from community banks. It came from United Way. It came from Starbucks. It came from people like you and me. It came from an incredibly encompassing set of organizations that believe in Sno-Isle Libraries and believe we're headed in the right direction. So a big thank you to our foundation president, Carol, and to Paul, our executive director of the foundation. So based on this early success, we're already thinking about our second TEDx Sno-Isle event in 2016, and so we'll be out looking at another location. And the funniest thing, I was talking to someone not too long ago, and I mentioned that we were looking for another location, and they started to give me a zillion reasons why it couldn't leave Edmonds. And so that also tells you what this event means. So I'm sure there are another zillion reasons that we should have it in your community. So talking about the foundation, if you miss their recent donor event at the Sno-Isle Library featuring Longmire author Craig Johnson, you missed a treat. And I know there's at least one person in this audience who looks down on the whole idea, the whole genre of mystery. And I was like, eh. But she told me last week that she is now reading Craig Johnson's book. Right there. So it was an incredible event, and Mr. Johnson was so welcoming and generous with his time. So if that kind of gets you jazzed up, we have another event coming up, and that is October 24th. And it's at the brand new museum in Edmonds, and it's only been open, I think,
2 weeks.
about 2 weeks. So you all, if you come, will have a chance to get into that museum, walk around, and be able to eat right in front of some lovely pieces of art. The honored guest will be Nancy Leeson, a food critic for the Seattle Times. And if you listen to KPLU on your way to the gym or on your way to work, you'll recognize her from their Food for Thought program that's on every Thursday, and then they do a repeat on Saturday. And she goes head to head with Dick Stein, and it is just hilarious. And I've actually learned a couple of cooking techniques as well. So if you want to know more about Nancy and the hors d'oeuvres that we'll be serving at the event, because we'll be using some of her recipes, you've got two options. You can fight to sit at the table with Paul for lunchtime, or you can chat me up. I'm really looking forward to it. So the work of Sno-Isle Libraries is being recognized and honored in several spheres. So on the regional front, we are viewed as an essential strategic partner by other organizations. When the Economic Alliance of Snohomish County invited several hundred top business, industry, government, and civic leaders to its annual business meeting, it mentioned Sno-Isle Libraries and our TED events in its list of notable joint events for 2015. We were invited to join the governor and 49 other Snohomish leaders in signing on to the Live Healthy 2020 initiative. We received recently an honorable mention recognized by the Urban Library Council for our work in organizational change and strategic management and the hiring of a research analyst in communications and a data librarian. We received an environmental Green Seal GS42 certification for the way we have our buildings cleaned and deal with office waste. There's more. We received a founding partner recognition from libraryhub.org for joining a national coalition of libraries and organizations involved in innovative work to enable the resources within our libraries to be discovered and seen on the web without having to come to our website first. And 3 design and production awards from the American Library Association for our Would-Be Reads posters, a movie about our movies, and also our bookmobile donor thank you video. So we've been really a busy set of folks for a while. Between now and the next 10 years, we're thinking that a lot needs to happen in the world of library buildings. And so we're in the process of taking a look and planning for the next 10 years in public capital projects. We know from implementing our current 25-year strategic plan for facilities that it's really hard to project out that far and be accurate. The farther out you plan, the more assumptions that you need to make. And the possibility for either underestimating or overestimating what's going to happen in the future, I think, is a prime example of that. So just kind of think about the kinds of things that you have at home that would you have dreamed we would have had those 10 years ago. And I think about the world of libraries and moving from albums to cassettes. There are 8-track tapes in between that, and my brother's 57 Chevy. Then reel-to-reel tapes, and to I'm just blinking out, and to CDs, and now to streaming video. So streaming video and streaming audio. So there's a lot that we don't know. And my guess is that there's probably more that we don't know than we think we know. So we're currently gathering community input, taking a close look at the state of our current facilities, considering community demographics, job and population data, and correlating all of that data with library customer usage, both locally and nationally. So over the next few months, we are talking with stakeholders, holding community meetings, and providing a month-long online open house. And this is the part, that last part, a month-long online open house, that intrigues me the most. What we'll be providing is for folks to be able to go to our website, to click on a link, and for 30 days be able to let us know what they think about library service and their facilities. From kind of a casual story from a similar project that a city was doing, normally at a public meeting, they get maybe a couple hundred people if they're lucky. Through their online open house, they were looking at receiving thousands of inputs. And one of the things it does is it helps us connect with folks that don't want to drive at night, that are too busy and can't come to the library. And I think it's a great way for us to make an opportunity available for people who work kind of unusual shifts. Our goal is to have a completed and adopted plan in early spring. So in conclusion, I want to say that it's really been a busy and exciting year. The state of Sno-Isle Libraries is sound, and staff are working hard to ensure our libraries remain relevant. We continue to provide world-class library service, and we continue to work hard to provide what you need and what each of you deserves. We are investing in the long-term efforts with other organizations so that we together can leverage our resources to build literate, economically sound, and connected communities. And we will continue assisting our youngest library customers and new residents create new and exciting futures. The help you provide us through your love of libraries and active support extends our reach. It multiplies our hands. It carries the good news of libraries to all of our communities and is more appreciated than I can put into words. So thank you very much for coming this morning and for being library fanatics with the rest of us. Thank you.